So what I'm going to do here is take a couple of the problems that are the word problems that give people the most trouble in this unit in Objective 1.1a in the Aleks Pi. When I see something like this and there's all this information, it helps me to have a picture. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw a picture. It says that Maria is riding at a bike race that goes through a valley and a nearby mountain range. And I'm looking at this, and the valley goes down 212 feet below sea level. It goes up to 2,000 feet when it gets to the mountain. So I'm assuming it would look something like this. There's this valley, and then this huge mountain. And this is not to scale, but just to give me an idea. Sea level is somewhere in here. Let's say it's just at the top of where the valley starts. So that's at 0 feet. Checkpoint 1 is down at 53 feet. That's checkpoint 1. So that's negative 53 feet. Checkpoint 2 is at negative 144 feet. And I'm going to put checkpoint 3 right at the bottom of the valley at negative 212 feet. And then they go up. Checkpoint number 4 is at 1,333 feet. And checkpoint 5, this is quite a ride, is at 2,018 feet. So that kind of gives me a picture of what all these checkpoints look like, where they're at in relation to sea level. So these are below sea level, these are above sea level. Negative is below, positive is above. Then it says, for question A, the top of a hill rises 467 feet above checkpoint 3. So if I had a hill that went way up here, whoops, it didn't go that high. It goes only 467 feet, so it wouldn't be that high. So let's say there. So this is 467 feet. The top of that hill is at 467 feet. It wants to know what is the altitude at the top of the hill. Well, altitude is measured based off of 0. So what it wants to know is how much above 0 is the top of that hill. Well, if this bottom, checkpoint 3, is at negative 212, this whole hill is 467 feet. But I'm going to use up 212 feet just getting to sea level. So if I subtract 212, 7 minus 2 is 5, 6 minus 1 is 5, 4 minus 2 is 2. That means from here to here is 255 feet. And that's what it's asking for, because it's saying what's the top of this hill. The altitude is number of feet above sea level. So that's going to be 255 feet. Hope that makes sense. Then it says how much lower is checkpoint 3 than checkpoint 2. So checkpoint 3 was at negative 212. Move this up a little bit. And checkpoint 2 was at negative 144. So it's asking, what is the difference between here and here? That's what it's asking. Between 144 and 212, what's the difference? Well, if I just subtract, and I'm not going to think of these as positive or negative, just 212 feet. How far is it from 212 to 144? 68 feet. So at 68 feet, people tend to answer this as like it's negative 68 feet because it went down 68 feet, but it says lower, so I don't need the negative sign. It's just going to be plain old 68 feet. So that's one example. This one, I'm going to be using a thermometer, so I just use a vertical number line. Table gives the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit in 5 cities at 6 a.m. on the same day. Use the table to answer the questions. So I've got Santa Fe, which is the highest. Yeah, Santa Fe's at the top. at 67 degrees. I'm going to put 0 about here. St. Louis is at 44 degrees. So I did the two positives first. Then I'm going to go down to -8. Oops, that was St. Louis. Go down to -8. That's Buffalo. -16 is Montreal. And -31 is Nome, Alaska. Then it says, by noon, the temperature had risen by 10 degrees. What was the temperature? Oh, by noon, the temperature in Nome, so I'm talking about -31, had risen by 10 degrees. So it went up 10 degrees. If I go up 10 degrees from -31, I can just sort of intuitively say if I go up 10, it's going to be at -21. Or I can do the math. -31 plus 10 is -21. So this would be -21 degrees Fahrenheit. The next one I think is the trickier one. How much higher was the 6 a.m. temperature in Santa Fe? So I've got Santa Fe here, which was 67 degrees, than Montreal. So I'm comparing, this is a -16. I'm comparing Santa Fe to Montreal. So Santa Fe is 67 degrees. This is not a negative sign, it's just a little mark saying on the thermometer, all the way down to -16 degrees. So we're talking about, just if I think about it, if 0 degrees is here, it's going to take me 67 degrees to get that far and another 16 degrees to get down to -16. So the difference between 67 and -16, I'm going to add 67 and 16. So I got to do it this way. It's 83 degrees. If I did the math, how much higher means I'm going to subtract. So I'm going to take 67 minus a -16. 67 minus a -16, instead of subtracting, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to add. So instead of subtracting 16, instead of subtracting -16, I'm going to add a +16, which is exactly what I did. I sort of did it intuitively, or from the picture here. There, I did it mathematically. So I hope these two examples help you. That's most of the examples are these same kind of things. If not, get in touch with me and we can get together on Zoom, or go online and log into the Math Prep and Learning Lab and they can help you with it as well.